Peace, peace. What's up, everybody? It's Anthony Fallon, back once again, Tone Setter Sports Channel. Let's go. I'm going to talk about the Lamar Jackson thing that's going on, and I know there's plenty of videos been out there for the last couple of weeks about Lamar Jackson, but my thing is I am going to give the stats, but also my main thing is talk about good landing spots for Lamar and just have some input on my thoughts on the whole thing, because everything all started with the Bill Polian uh, suggesting that he should change his position to wide receiver, and that's a very typical thing to say, because of his speed and agility, um, that he has displayed his 3 years at Louisville. Now, if you just go by stats alone, um, if you went by stats alone and saw his gameplay, he's a pretty good quarterback, and each year that he played, he his stats improved for the 3 years that he played, and he won the Heisman his sophomore year. But if you don't know the measures, and you know what Bill Polian was saying, he's fast, quick, acceleration, breakaway speed, make people miss, and he's slight and he's short, but he's 6'3", 200 plus pounds. 200 at the combine they had him weighed in at 216. So they want him to add girth or whatever, maybe. Probably a little bit more. He probably could if he get to 220, maybe. Maybe he's good like that because for one thing, he's not like RG3. Um, I think he's a far better passer than RG3. RG3 just had a good deep ball, but he could run, and he got hot at the right time. Those two years, especially his last 2 years at Baylor. But he was injury prone coming into the league. He had already had ACL injury and stuff like that, and this brother Lamar hasn't. For what I can remember, he has none. So because he's a running quarterback, or he's a quarterback that can run and run real good. Like a shifty wide receiver, like a running back. That's the more typical thing to say, and disregard his stats as a quarterback. And try not to make it a black and white thing. Well, you can't help but to make it a black and white thing. You really can't. I mean, because why didn't they ask Carson Wentz to move to wide receiver? Carson Wentz can run. What's the guy that's coming in behind Carson Wentz? Josh Allen. And matter of fact, most of the quarterbacks that are coming in now are mobile. They all need work. I don't think any of them are starting quality. The one that really has the quality to me, and I still wouldn't start him day one. Baker Mayfield. Only thing with Baker Mayfield, he started off at Texas Tech, which it was, that's a quarter. Their term is quarterback friendly, but he went from quarterback friendly to somewhat of a traditional style of football. Did they play behind center a lot? I can't remember how Oklahoma played. I don't know if they played behind center a lot, but if they did, if he did or didn't, doesn't matter. He still put up some pretty good numbers. His Heisman year that he just had. So, and he played. But he's still not as polished either. Matter of fact, none of them are. So let's get back to Lamar. The things that I noticed is that this is why I said he's a quarterback that can run very well. Is because when I watch Lamar in the I watch because I'm an ACC guy for one thing. Virginia's my team, and as a matter of fact, I like the quarterback coming out of Virginia and uh, Richmond. I like those two quarterbacks too. I think we might have one of those Matt Schaub between the two of them. Might be a Matt Schaub uh, that came in for a couple years and played good. Um, but I don't want to get sidetracked. But watching Lamar in the ACC and watching highlight uh, films of Lamar at the same time, he ran when it was called for him to running the speed option. That's when he ran most of the time. Is speed option. Now, when it was a pass play, if the pocket collapsed, he did run. But I also saw him staying in the pocket too, stepping up in the pocket as well. So only knock, I think he held the ball too long sometimes, and not just get rid of it or check down and stuff like that. But all of that can be worked out. We talk about mechanics that can be worked out. Mechanics can be worked out. They say accuracy. He when you touch on his accuracy, but they're not saying that about Josh Allen. Now everybody else is in the 60s, and his and is in the low to mid 60s, and Lamar is at 59% overall career wise. 57. I said 50. I mean 57%. And just to do a comparison, Josh Allen is at 56%. Pretty much 57% too. They're both right there neck and neck. And now the way Lamar got the upper hand is his running ability, where he ran for 50 touchdowns and 4,000 yards, and almost threw for 10,000 yards. And his completion percentage probably would have went up because his wide receivers had dropped a lot of balls, deep balls too, where he put him in some tight windows, and he throws a deep ball with such touch, with a smooth touch. It's like he's not even forcing. He's just putting it right in the pocket. I mean, tight windows, like over the shoulder grabs. Over the shoulder grabs. You go back and watch those highlights of Lamar Jackson, and it was only over the shoulder where the receiver could get it, and it would take one hell of a corner to make a real good defensive play, to like intercept it or knock the ball out the air, because a lot of times it just hit the wide receiver in the pocket, and just trip up in steps or just a little bit of contact, through their concentration off, and they drop the ball, whatever, however you want to put it. So that's the things that I notice, is that he's more of a pass first QB. He will stand in the pocket. And most of the time he ran on speed option. Now, like I said, he will run out of the pocket in the pass play if the pocket collapses. What quarterbacks wouldn't if they can get out of the pocket. Now, just staying in the pocket a little, sometimes just staying in the not holding the ball too long, maybe the most part you can criticize when it comes to that. But he will stay in the pocket. So what's not making this brother a quarterback? It's some bullshit. And now it's some real bullshit, because that's media talk. That's media talk. And although Bill Polian he has all the credentials in the world as a GM, they always want to throw that out there, is because because of Peyton Manning and stuff. But Peyton Manning was pretty much he was a polished quarterback damn near polished quarterback before he even got into college. Because look at his lineage. I mean, he was trained by a professional quarterback, which is his father. I mean, don't mean he lived up to the hype, but he did. But he did, and got the hardware twice. You know, but he elevated his team as well. So I'm gonna get all that, but let's stick to Lamar. So all of that is some bullshit when they talk about when they throw these stats up here, and then all of a sudden you hearing these guys starting to change now, to starting to change up a little bit in their wordplay and lingo about when they go come to talking about Lamar and stuff like that, and it's really being biased. Now I'm saying that to say this is because, like I said, that's the media. Bill Polian is no longer a GM. And yes, he might have some influence on with his thoughts and stuff as a football analyst, a scout analyst, and stuff like that. But also this, let's go back. Let's go back to 2016 season, and it was Carson Wentz and I forgot who else came out. I was the guy from St. Louis. It was them, and then the Cowboys picked up Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott fell in the fourth round, where he was graded as a first round pick, but he dropped to the fourth round because of the same kind of rhetoric and bullshit talk from the analysts and some of the scouts, is that they kind of knocked that man's pay down because of he got the ability, he got the strong arm, he's mobile, he has the size, but accuracy and touch. And then what happened in his rookie year? When Cowboys started winning, he has better touch than we thought. He has better accuracy than we thought. And he was forced to play because he wasn't supposed. He's supposed to have been a project as well. He's supposed to have been someone to sit behind Tony Romo. Now let's take that into this draft that's coming up next month. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. He's going to be a diamond in the rough, a gem, a steal for somebody in the league, because they're going to talk him down to where he's either going to drop between the second and the fourth round, somewhere between there, because after the first round, everybody's going to get what they really want. These quarterbacks going to go ahead of him, just like Deshaun Watson. As a matter of fact, he's another example. He's short, because he's only 6'2", and stuff like that, and he don't have the build because of his weight, girth, size, or nothing like that. But what happened to Deshaun Watson when his stock fell, and he fell to the right team? He fell to a team that already had a championship caliber defense with a pretty above average running back, and all they needed was a quarterback. For the most part, got a decent offensive line, and all they needed was a quarterback. It took them to figure it out a couple games. After starting Tom Savage, just giving him the seniority or whatnot to try him out, the traditional quarterback, and so they went with non-traditional that has a lot of traditional qualities. Yeah. And look what happened. Besides that injury, that's the only thing that was, that you can really say. It's like, see, I told you his size. He's not going to be durable because of his size. So with Lamar Jackson, his stock is going to drop. And Lamar, I'm telling you, that might be a good thing for the time being, because you can land in a good spot. And I don't recommend starting you putting you in a starter's position, off the bat, unless it's necessary. Unless the team has no option. And if these coordinators and coaches are geniuses, like they claim, like people proclaim them to be, then they will cater to your strengths, just like what they did with Houston did with Deshaun Watson. Instead of him conforming to this style that we're gonna play with any and other traditional quarterback, no, we're gonna critique things for you, so you can be successful, and hopefully you, excuse me, um, and hopefully you find you land on a team that's pretty much there. And matter of fact, not pretty much there, but has a quarterback that you can watch and study and kind of pick his brain. And these are my landing spots for you, for Lamar Jackson and those that are listening. I got. I'm going off the teams who could use that has. Matter of fact, let me throw this team in here too, if they don't have. That's another one, but that's no time soon either. I don't think. New England, because New England needs a backup quarterback, and since they got rid of Garoppolo's not coming back because he just signed a nice contract with San Francisco because he showed himself in the last 7 games, 6 or 7 games or 5 games with San Francisco, and I think they won out. I think they won outright the rest of the season once he got on board. So New England, and Tom Brady's talking about playing till he's 45. He's only 40, and New England can just sit there and groom Jackson for the next 4 to 5 years, because Tom Brady might say 45, but what if you get injured? You know what I'm saying? What if you get injured at 43? Something like that. What if you get injured at 44? So they'll have him for them 3 or 4 years, grooming him, coaching him, while he get to pick Tom Brady's brain and watch his movement in the pocket and work on the mechanics and instill that winning, that obsessive mode to compete and wanting to win. And I think that's in Lamar. You know what I'm saying, already. So. But he's just more cool about it and reserved, I guess you would say. My other team, New Orleans. Yeah, because Drew Brees getting older. I know he's in this contract year. He's 39, about to be 40. Who knows how long he's going to play? Because he's up there in age as well. And while Drew Brees can still play, 2-3 years down the road, studying Drew Brees and picking him and Sean Payton's mind, and because they're so synced and locked in low, so he'll learn how to sink in with it and just absorb all of that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Because he's another great mentor to follow behind. Another one, I'm just saying this, it might not, because they do have a backup that they played while he was out and he did okay. So, but I think this guy's in his 3rd year already. So hopefully nothing happens to, Mr. Awesome. The boy bad. He bad when it comes to throwing that football, man. And that's no other than Aaron Rodgers. Unbelievable. Just watching Aaron Rodgers, there are a lot of things that he can't. You just can't coach what Aaron Rodgers can do, and especially with his pocket movement, because you see him, he doesn't really run. He just kind of eases his way out. He rolls out to the left. He's strong. He's strong doing that, but he can roll right too. But going left of the field. That's where he tends to just leak out of the pocket and look downfield to throw. But another someone that you can just master and probably can mimic his style a little bit, because you see Brett Huntley kind of look just like him as far as mimicking his motion and his movement, within the pocket. And if they're not truly sold on Huntley, what what else to get? You know what I'm saying? Is another weapon, just in case Aaron Rodgers he gets injured again. You know, he break that collarbone again. It happened to Romo. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much like the same size. You know what I'm saying? 6'2", 6'3", maybe. You know, only 200 and something pounds. He's not a big quarterback. You know, but he's mobile. He can gyrate within the confines of the pocket. You know. Uh, my next one is the Giants. Is another quarterback that could be on his way out in another year or two, because I don't think the Giants are going to get rid of Eli, but he's someone that's knowledgeable and probably could learn from too. You know, but Eli is not the most mobile quarterback. Um, but neither to say when he's on, Eli is on. You know, but everything has to fall in place. Everything has to fall in place because Giants got to have the defense. Giants got to have the running back. They got a hell of a receiving core, but they got to have that offensive line too, which is key to keep Eli upright because of the fact that because of his lack of mobility. But he can move in the pocket though, so he can watch Eli style and mature with, you know, just being a pocket passer because that's already in Lamar. Anyway, to learn how to matriculate things, and I know that's a word, but anyway, within the pocket. So my last the team I just matriculate is a word, but anyway, my last spot for Lamar, landing spot for Lamar Jackson, and it's a long shot. You know, Green Bay is a long shot. New York is iffy, and this team is another long shot. The Chargers. Phillip has been there. He got that competitive fire, you know, as well, and more like that Baker Mayfield-ish kind of fire. Him and Baker Mayfield are kind of like exact as far as that in your face. They don't talk about Phillip. You know, it's like, oh, he's just so competitive. You know what I'm saying. But let me do that shit as a professional quarterback, and I'm in your face taunting and shit like that. And it would be a whole different story, and y'all know it would. It wouldn't be just the fact that I'm competitive and shit. But yeah, I think the Chargers could be another landing spot too, because we don't know how long Rivers is gonna last. He's been in the game over 10 years now, so I forgot. I'm not even calculating when he got drafted. I just know it's the same as Eli Manning. So. Whenever that was, early 2000s, and here we go now, and his the sun is about to set on him too, because you know he's chasing that ring, and they either can't get into the playoffs or they get knocked out of the playoffs early. They haven't went deep in the playoffs since he's been there, so he need things to be in place for him as well, because he's not the type that would elevate a team. You know what I'm saying? He needs playmakers and a defense, offensive line, and a running game. You know, and everybody needs special teams. And when I'm talking about, of course, kickers and stuff, but playmakers on the kickoff and punt return. So the three phases, 3 levels. Of football, the 3 components. So with that, they are the 5 landing spots that I have for Lamar: New England, New Orleans, Green Bay, New York, Chargers. Yes. Groom him, and you got a stud. You got a game changer, playmaker, dual threat quarterback that can pass short, medium, and deep ball. With that being said, y'all, this Tone Setter Sports. I'm out. Peace.